You're still out here.
Where else am I going to go?
Oh, Marilyn, you're scaring me. I don't like seeing you this upset.
Look, I need you to listen to me.
I'm trying, but you're not making any sense.
Okay, maybe this will help.
What am I looking at?
That is Heather's. She left it for me in an envelope on our front doorstep.
Is this what you were arguing about down at the caravan park?
She wanted me to have that photo.
Why?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But she did.
Is that what she said?
No.
Did you see her leave it? Do you know who the baby is? Does Heather know who this baby is? Darling, why would she leave a photo for you and then deny it?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But I don't trust her because ever since she's been here, she's been telling different stories to different people and sometimes outright lies.
You know what's...
And
I'm sorry, but you are just not making any sense at all.
Hello and welcome. This is Coastal News, a home and away podcast where we unpack the latest week's episodes and discuss the residents, their lives, and all the drama from our favourite fictional town, Summer Bay. Hello everybody, welcome back to Coastal News, a home and away podcast. We are Si and Sophie, your hosts, of course. How are you doing, Sophie? You okay?
Hello, yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
Not too shabby, thank you. Not too shabby.
Good.
Friday feels, when we're recording a bit differently, and we always sort of let people in on this, don't we? I just feel like it's a Friday. Whatever day we do a podcast, it feels like a Friday.
It should be.
Tomorrow's going to hurt.
It is. It is, definitely. I reckon they should move it. You know, when we can't do it on a Friday, we'll do it on a Thursday. They should just make that Thursday the Friday. Why not?
Yeah. Public holiday, something. Yeah. No, it's really throwing me. You know, tonight I've been bouncing around the house. You know, like Friday.
Oh, you're gonna come right down to earth tomorrow morning when the alarm goes off.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Oh,
No, you've not Deliveroo, no tattoos this week. You know, you've not.
I haven't. No. Oh,
not been tempted.
Not been tempted. Although I might have a bike hit out on me. You never know. Well, according to Rose, we're all on the list. So, you know, I reckon that includes the Coastal News. We put the headline out, didn't we, about Cash killing Marty? So I reckon we're on the list.
Yeah,
as
spot
well.
on. We broke that story, didn't we?
Yeah. You never know.
Yeah. Watch your back.
I was going to say, watch your back. Stole the words out my mouth.
And before we get into it, just a quick reminder to all our loyal audience, you can catch us and follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Coastal News Pod. And if you do wish to help support the show, subscribe to us for an extra content, which there is not been much this last month or so because we've been so busy, but the content is there. We just need to release it, and there's some new episodes coming your way, subscriber only episodes very, very soon. Subscribe for 99p if you want access to them and all the past however many we've done so far and all the future ones. 99p. Click the link in the episode description and you can subscribe. There we go. I'm getting worse at that.
I think that was good. I was saying that was really good.
Right, do you want your headlines?
I do, yeah.
Great. The jig is up. Theo and Kirby go public with their affection, and the response wasn't as hostile as first thought. Ziggy received some shocking, and when I say shocking, I mean shocking news. And that's confused her feelings about her own future. Rose agrees to help with court proceedings for the Paratas and learns some dangerous information whilst doing so. And Heather's identity is revealed via a box of tricks and a birth certificate with Marilyn's name on it. But not before a big blowout between the both of them. So we start the week with the band, with Lyric, because the sort of Friday cliffhanger last week was the breakup, in inverted commas. Theo, I'm out before you break my heart type conversation, wasn't it? And we were saying he was showing the more maturity by acknowledging that, weren't we, on last week's podcast? So we start with the sort of fallout from that, the aftermath of that. Kirby's in a right mood. And Eden and Remy are trying to cheer her up as best they can, unbeknownst to them what it's all about, they're even offering to do a dinner, and them two don't strike me as that kind.
No.
We would do something like that for a bandmate.
No, normally a chippy tea, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Kirby says things like she feels like she's carrying the load, and they're obviously thinking it's all about them. They're the reason why. So they come up with this sort of plan. They're going to organise the tour, and the rehearsals, and we're going to do this, and this is how we're going to do it. They take that charge, don't they, to try and lighten the load for Kirby. But actually, in doing so, it ends up everything's sort of pairing Theo and Kirby off together when they're actually trying to avoid each other after this breakup. So
it's
a little bit awkward. Yeah, absolutely. And they're apologizing, for doing whatever it is they've done wrong in their eyes. They don't know it. Kirby's just looking completely unthrilled about the whole thing. And then this meeting's called, isn't it? This band meeting at Salt, and Theo's making up some excuse about why it's all so awkward, and it looks like there's like a penny drop moment for Kirby where she thinks, bugger it, and she jumps on him, doesn't she? Plants that kiss.
Does, to their shock and horror. But I think it was quite sweet, actually, that lead up to it. Although I'm not loving them as a couple, so I'm not, don't take this with a pinch of salt. But it was quite sweet that Theo, it's kind of like we were saying last week, it's showing him growing as a person, showing his maturity, that he wanted to take the heat off her, didn't he? And make up this lie, essentially saying, oh, I've upset her because I said some things about some lyrics that she wrote, and, that's what's happened. And it's a bit frosty between us. That's a complete lie. And it makes him look like the bad guy, doesn't it? So, that's quite a sweet thing to do. He's kind of fallen on his sword for her. And then obviously she's gone, oh, now I've really got to kiss him. So that's obviously what spurred it on, I think, is that she's realised that she really likes him, and actually he's a decent guy. He's not like Bob, hopefully.
Yeah, you're right. That's the moment she's sort of seen him in that light, hasn't she? She's thought, I'm nuts to throw this away. Yeah. I've written down here, Theo acting heroic. Like you say, I'll take this one. I'll say it was me that messed up. My fault. Even after that, even he's hurting as well. Even after that, he still takes it on his shoulders. Make sure she's squeaky clean. I agree with you. I don't like the coupling, if I'm being honest. I think it's got disaster and drama written all over it. I'm sure it'll lead to lots of story within the band, but it's not something that I'm looking forward to consuming.
No. No, neither am I. I wasn't really keen on the whole Kirby and Bob thing, and we saw that right at the end, when it was all broken and they were falling apart. So now we're on the roller coaster where Theo and Kirby are going to be, all the highs at the moment, but then inevitably it's going to come down again, isn't it? So it's going to be some drama or some arguing and I don't know, breakups. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it? Because if the band is a job, that means they work together, they're on the road together, they're rehearsing together, like they're just never going to be apart. And I think that has the potential to blow up or fizzle out, doesn't it? Either one.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure on a relationship, especially a new one, isn't it? I think you're right. That's a watch this space moment. I just don't know if I want to see it.
No, I don't think we need it. And I said that last week, so I won't bang on it about it too much. But I think we could have done with 4 people that were just really good friends.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and you're enjoying that dynamic, aren't you? That band dynamic, band story. This complication of love and a relationship in there is unnecessary. You were saying, weren't you?
Yeah, I really like Remy and Eden together. I really like their sort of relationship, that how close they are. They're more like brother and sister because they kind of, they take the mickey out of each other, don't they? Like when he's falling flat on his face with Bree and trying to ask her out, and like Eden's taking the mickey out of him, and then he does that thing to wind her up where he sort of pretends to be in love with her. Oh, I've loved
I
you
loved that.
Yeah, it's hilarious. They're really funny with each other. And I think if we'd had another sort of similar relationship, because Theo and Kirby are very similar as well, they could have been really good friends and acted like that as well. I think that's what we needed. I think this coupling up thing was probably a mistake, but we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. And the shock, the reaction from Eden and Remy was not what I was expecting either.
No.
And I think that again, it's that dynamic you're talking about, that friendly, jovial, light-hearted, banter type relationship they've got, because they were the ones laying down the law after Bob, weren't they? They were like, you know what, we need to set these rules. We can't have any more of this now. We've had too much of this hassle in the past. This is a chance for a new break. Setting the rule, no relationships. But actually, so I was expecting a bit of a blow up, and I was actually pleasantly surprised because there wasn't.
Yeah.
And I say pleasantly because I thought that's an obvious story. I expected a big, how dare you? You're going to ruin the band type scene.
Yeah.
But the scene we got was more actually of Remy and Eden turning to each other and being like, well, what do you think? What do you think? And I thought that was a refreshing reaction, I thought.
It was, yeah, I agree. I think it was more grown up as well. I was expecting it to be the melodrama, especially because a couple of days before, or the day before, I can't remember, Mac and Remy had that conversation where Mac said, hey, what's going on with Kirby and Theo? And he said, nothing. She wouldn't do that. She's told me there's nothing going on, and I trust her and I believe her. So for him to say that, and then actually it has been going on behind his back, you'd think he'd be like, oh, you told us this and you've actually done the opposite, and have a bit of a drama about that. But I think Remy and Eden are just so chill, and so they don't take themselves and life too seriously. I think that's helping their characters.
Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly with everything you've just said.
How unusual.
And I've been the one that's been more critical out the two of us of the band. So but that really made me sit up and think, oh, all right, these guys are all right.
Yeah.
Are
you still not feeling Remy though? Are you still feeling a bit like he's a bit of a creep still?
I think he's a bit. I think yeah,
basically. Yes, was the answer.
I think he's just a bit much. Do you know what I mean?
He is,
and maybe as we learn, is it because our characters change? They're never the same as when they arrive in the Bay, are they? So maybe he'll dial it down a bit as time goes on.
Maybe. I don't think so. But we'll see. I quite like him. I think I know people like him. I can see people that I've known or still know in him, and I think that's why I like him, because I do find him quite relatable. But
no, I don't. I think he's rude.
Love it. Fair enough. Yeah, I can't even argue with you. Yeah, you're right, but I still like him. So yeah.
Yeah, your mind's somewhere else with that fella. So Theo and Kirby, they don't waste time. They do the new love summer bay pilgrimage to the diner hand in hand.
This is my girlfriend.
The diner. Yeah.
You're what? As if this is brand new information, because Justin hasn't already told me anything. Well done, Leah. Wow, I had no idea. Love that. Oh dear.
Oh, the script has been quite funny this week. Even in the which we'll come on to later in the episode, even in the darker dramatic pieces, I found myself tittering away at the telly.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, so they're together, they're public, it's happening. There'll be lots of love songs. I'm expecting lots of heartbreak songs as well. And we'll just have to sit out and wait for that to happen, I imagine. Did you know that you can play Coastal News, a home and away podcast, right from your Amazon Alexa? Just say, Alexa, play Coastal News now. And of course, you can still catch your latest episodes on all other podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Castbox, Audible, Player FM, and much more. Just search Coastal News, a home and away podcast right now, wherever you get your podcasts from. Ziggy's back from the comp, trophy in hand. She's even got sponsorship. Like you do.
It doesn't take a long. I did laugh out loud at these scenes. I'm sorry. I did laugh when she was like, and I came first, and I got offered a sponsorship, and I'm going to ring my dad, and he's going to be so stoked. And I was like, this is literally unbelievable.
Literally living the dream, I think she said. I thought, she's been gone for days.
Oh, bless her. It was a bit, I think we needed 2 or 3 of the surf comps for this to be believable. But
I think so. Don't forget the Pro Tour.
Oh, yes.
She's going on. Free travel.
Wow. If I'd known, maybe I should have took up surfing years ago and done the same. Damn it. It sounds easy when she puts it like that. But oh, dear.
I think you'd look great on the beach there, chalking your board up. Is that what they do?
I don't know. I think that's the pool cue, isn't it? I don't know.
No, it's not chalk, is it? They do something to it.
I think it's wax, isn't it?
Waxing, that's it.
Yeah. Sure. Love it.
Only been watching Home and Away 30 odd years. I think I'd know that one. So she's come back with all this fabulous news. She's on cloud 9, believable or not. And then what does she do to celebrate all this? Goes for a surf. Right, okay.
Like you do, yeah.
Was the competition not enough? I said I'd be on Netflix with the biggest bowl of popcorn I could find. There we go.
Yeah.
And then she takes a funny turn, doesn't she?
Yes.
Coming out of the drink.
Yeah.
Luckily, Sexbot Doc's on hand.
Isn't it amazing how there's only one doctor in the bay and they're always, not at the hospital when you need them to.
I know.
Amazing.
Thank God she's into surfing too.
I know.
And her surfboard was fixed just in time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Lucky for her as well that she can diagnose pregnancy rapid as well, actually.
That's true.
Have you had your breakfast?
Yeah, exactly. Have you eaten?
No. Oh my God, you're pregnant. I am scared of skipping breakfast now, just saying. Right. You never know what'll happen.
Do you think that was the cause? Oh, I'm screwed. I haven't had breakfast for about 20 years.
Dave. Listen, kids that are listening, don't sex on an empty stomach. Babies.
Oh dear.
And that obviously puts the willies up her, if you pardon the pun. Because then she goes on.
Had a mouthful of Pepsi then. That could have ended very badly.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that was hilarious.
She goes home and she takes a pregnancy test. 2 lines. Ziggy is pregnant.
Now, did you see, because she used her phone as a timer for the pregnancy test, did you see the time on her phone?
No, you texted me, didn't you?
What time of day it was? It was 9:24 a.m. So she's taken the pregnancy test in the morning. So, she obviously would have had breakfast very early if she, hadn't skipped breakfast or whatever. But not only that, while those scenes while she's taking the test are playing out, Dean is in Salt and he's got a bottle of champagne He's got a 6-pack of beer. He's got a whole hamper of food, and he's on his way home with them at 9:30 in the morning. I'm just gobsmacked at this. I was like, they are living the rock and roll lifestyle. No wonder this is coming such a big shock for them, because these are the kind of people that have champagne at 9:30 in the morning. You can't do that with a baby.
Yeah, we're talking major lifestyle change here, guys.
Major lifestyle change. It's insane. But yeah, no wonder it was such a shock. But there we go. Sorry, I was just being a geek, but I did notice.
Yeah. I think that was an oversight from whoever was filming the phone there.
I think so.
The storyline was meant to be much later in the day. Yeah.
I think it was meant to be evening, wasn't it? Because Max said something like, "I'm not coming home early tonight. You've got the house to yourselves." And I was thinking, well, that's 12 hours away at least. So
yeah. What do you think then, Diggy baby? What's your thoughts on this?
Oh, not sure. Not sure about this at all.
She's spinning, isn't she?
What's your thoughts? I'll listen to you first while I gather mine. Mine aren't very good, but
right. So I think I'm not against it. I don't mind the idea. Obviously, this is a soap opera, so they've took her right up there, you know, Pro Tour sponsorship, just to crash her down again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and that's what we do with characters on soaps. That's how it goes, right? So you know, when a character's too happy, you know it's too good to be true. So
yeah.
Not bothered about that. I actually think they could make a good go at a nice little family. Okay.
Yeah.
However, I have my reservations because you and I have spoken about the strength of their relationship since they got back together. Not being too great. We're literally fresh off a fortnight off Dean thinking she's running off with Remy in a shed.
That's true. Yeah.
You know, the work long hours. I think Ziggy has been in this sort of weird mental state in the past couple of weeks where she's not happy with her life, and I think she's struggling to find the root cause of it.
Yeah.
I think she thinks the surfing makes her happy, but what's making her unhappy? Do you know what I mean? Everything else, and I just think this will cocoon her into that's into the bay, really, into that sort of bay cocoon with Dean and a baby and no family. And I've said before, haven't I, that if this is the way it's going to go and they're going to have a baby, I want to see the family back. You know, the wider Estonies, because I think that would make a richer story.
Yeah.
You know, 3 generations then of Estonies, that kind of thing. If it went down that way, I'm totally on board. I'm loving it. If it goes down, and where we seem to be is Ziggy thinking, I've now got to give up life. And I'm aware that's a decision that people have to make, you know, and have to toy with, you know. Do I give up all this to bring up a baby? It's a very selfless thing to do, isn't it? Bring a child into the world. You know, you've got to give everything up and put your plans on hold. But I feel like we're going to go down a bit of a Ziggy's not happy about that decision type route, where we're up to at the minute anyway. And I'm not sure whether their relationship will survive it, despite Dean saying, I'm here for you, you know, when she eventually tells him, you know, and he's quite supportive. He says all the nice, in fact, he's very, you know, opposite of Dean. You know, he's very calm. You know, he says to her, life still might change, but just in a different way. We're in it together. All the buzzwords a girl needs to hear when she's spiraling in that moment, you know.
Yeah.
But I just don't think the relationship's strong enough for it, given what space Ziggy's in. That was a longer answer than you thought.
No,
your thoughts.
I enjoyed that answer, and I agree with a lot of what you say. Specifically around the idea about, you know, what she's saying about having to give up her dreams and all of that sort of stuff. I think this is a really important storyline from that point of view, because having a baby is a big decision, and it's a decision they haven't actually made consciously, is it? So, you know, this wasn't a planned pregnancy. I don't think we've ever heard Ziggy say that she wants to be a mum, or, you know, she obviously gets on with Jai, loves Jai, but that's different. That's not her baby. That's Dean's, you know. So this is some, you know, a big responsibility for her and a big decision for her. And I don't know. I have this sort of chip on my shoulder, so I'll try not to go on about it too much. About if you're bringing a life into the world, there's got to be some thought given to that, and a good reason for having a child as well, because
Yeah.
it's such a massive change. And I think one of the worst things that you can do is have a kid that you don't want.
Yeah.
And like resent that child as it's growing up, and not, I don't know, I have a real thing about that just being pretty awful scenario. And I think it's really important that the viewers sort of, I don't know, see that side of things. Like like the things that you say, to bring up a child, you need to be in a committed relationship. You need to both want it. You need to both want to have the child. You need to give up so much of your life and so much of your finances and everything else to bring up a child. It has to be something you really, really want to do for it to work. And I'm just not sure that they've thought about that.
No, I agree with that point, you know, that when I was saying that, you know, the relationship won't survive it, that's because you can tell right away that this wasn't, you just said that it's not in their plan. This wasn't the master plan. You know? And obviously accidents happen and blah 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 blah. And then maybe that could then be like a, you know, a choice type storyline, you know, which is I'm fine with that as well. But we're at a point where I don't think, I feel like Dean, I don't know about you, Dean would be more into it than her.
Yes, I think he's been there before. Like the idea of having kids is not that strange to Dean. He didn't know he had one for years and years, but now he knows he's got a little boy. You know, he's got Jai. He's got his head around the fact that he's a dad. I don't think that's an alien concept to him. I don't think Ziggy's given one thought to being a mum ever.
No. And he won't have he's proven himself already once before. He's not going to have the same anxieties that Ziggy would have. On top of her having to give up everything that she feels like she's already sacrificed for long enough. I just don't think it's a very good sort of mindset and environment to bring a child into.
No, it's not. I think there's a real big chance for resentment. It will change their relationship. It will change the dynamic of their relationship quite dramatically, because it does. Having a baby just doesn't always bring you closer. Sometimes it actually makes you drift apart more, because your attention that used to be completely on your partner is now on this child, because that's the one that needs your full focus. So that can cause friction in relationships. I don't think, like you say, 2 weeks ago they weren't looking that strong. I don't think it would take much to break them up, I'll be honest. I know that sounds horrible, but
no, I agree. And we've been saying this since they got back together. You know, like it doesn't feel the same. She says the line, and it's stuck with me from this scene. She says to him, doesn't she, when she's breaking down in the middle of the night, telling him, you know, I feel like I've messed everything up. And I thought that tells you all you need to know, really. You know, that's your initial thought. You know,
she's not happy. She's not jumping up and down and going, well, I didn't, you know, this wasn't what I wanted, what I thought I wanted, but actually now it's happened. This is great. I'm excited. There's none of that. She's terrified. And she, like you say, I've messed up. That's a negative, isn't it? That is, I didn't mean to do this. This is an accident. This is something I didn't want, didn't plan for. What I'm worried about now is how they handle this storyline, really, and what message they're going to send out to people that are watching this. So is it going to be just like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just give up all my dreams and that'll be it, and I'll just have this baby and I'll just be happy? And because that is such a turnaround from I've messed up, this wasn't my plan. You know, I don't know where they're going to go with this. I'm a bit worried
if they end up in that space, what is the in between to get there? I suppose that bit needs to be dealt with delicately, doesn't it?
It does. I'm worried they're just going to be like, one day she's just going to go, well, I've slept on it and actually I'm okay with it. And I'm going to be really annoyed. Because I'm like, no, this is a really big decision that you've never even contemplated and you're not happy about it. You can't just go to bed one day and get up the next day and go, actually, I've thought about it and I'm actually fine with it. Great. I can't wait. It's going to need to be a bit of a journey, I think.
Yeah. Oh dear. I'm very nervous about this.
The other
Something
thing
like
I'm nervous about, and I think someone tweeted it on the hashtag this week, and I was thinking the same thing. There's no children in the bay. There's no babies in the bay, and when someone does have a child, they tend to move away, don't they?
Yeah, we don't tend to have babies grow up here, do we? I think
No.
DJ might have been an exception.
Yes, but that's years
Um,
ago. I mean,
yeah,
from recent years, I don't think we've had a couple that have had a baby and stuck
no,
around, have
no,
we?
and no, and do you know what? It's funny you say that because there have been rumours of them leaving
Yeah,
recently.
that's what I've heard as well. I don't know
Um,
whether they're true because I've not been able to find anything. I have searched online and tried to find something, strong evidence of it actually being true, but it's just speculation at the moment that if they do have this baby, they're not going to be sticking around for long because that's what happens. They tend to move away for whatever reason, and maybe they go and live nearer her parents. I don't know, or live nearer her sister, or
maybe. Do you know what though? If this pregnancy is a full-term pregnancy and what have you, and it's dealt with well, I hope we see more of Dean's mum. I love her.
I love Dean's mom. She's awesome. Yeah, she needs to come back.
Yeah,
Oh gosh,
and she's
can you
got
imagine
really
the
good
scenes?
rapport with John.
Yeah, Why? 'Cause she's John's girlfriend, isn't she? According to some.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh dear. Yeah, I don't know. I'm feeling a bit trepidation about this whole storyline, really, and how they're going to handle it, but we'll see.
So Nick, he agrees with us that having a cop at Casa Parata is not a good look.
It's not good, is it?
Not a good look, is it?
Even Nick's
Even Nick
realised.
noticed.
Oh, but what if the bikies find out we've got a cop living here? Yeah, what if?
Yes, Nick. Yes, thank you. If Nick's worked it out, you know it's obvious. And Cash, he's at the same time that this is, Tanya agrees to sort that, by the way, yeah. And then Cash at the same time agrees he's going back to work anyway. 7 days after being shot twice.
It's bad.
He's
First of
clocking up
all,
some K's, isn't he?
He is. He's like desperate to leave the hospital. Now he's desperate to get back to his desk. He's just always wants to be somewhere else. Does Cash?
He does. And Fleek, I keep calling her Fleek all the time.
On Fleek.
Flick is trying to stop him, because protect her warrior of the brother and all that. Are you with me or are you against me? And all this stuff, and the Sarge won't sign it off anyway. So just shedding out to worry about. So he's back home and he's not happy, is he? So
yeah,
and I don't know if it's Flick's, the actress playing there. Sort of overdoing it, but these scenes where she's trying to get him to play cards, and
were they glued together? Were those cards glued together when they made that house of cards? I couldn't stop
they
watching
must
it.
have been. Yeah, they must have been.
She was picking them up and they were like stuck together at the top. I was thinking they're glued.
Not even budging. Now, really nice scene actually, in terms of, because it made Cash open up.
Yeah.
But it's the way she's like, come on, let's play cards. Come on, come and do this. Come and do. I don't know if I quite, and I don't think I have the response I'm supposed to have. I can't even put it into words.
Is it because it's a bit unbelievable that two siblings in 2022 that are, in their 20s, early 30s would be sitting around a kitchen table playing cards?
No, I do it all the time.
Really? Is it just me? I find it really weird. Put a Netflix film on, listen to an album, go for a walk, do something that's more, I don't know, playing cards just feels like the thing that we did when we were kids, when we went to a caravan and it was raining in the 80s when there was no internet.
No, but she I do I am partial to an game of Uno.
Yeah, Uno, but not like, what do they play? 21 or something? I can't remember, but
it was just like the whole taking him back to, and it sounded, when it comes out and he opens up, it sounds like that's what he made her do when she was on the other foot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he does this whole, now I know now I get it. I see what you went through, and you know, and what it feels like, and that, so there's that sort of deeper level of understanding between the two of them at that point, which I did enjoy that conversation. I'm not sure we needed the cards.
No.
And she says something like, "Oh, it's the nights, they're the worst," you know, and they're bonding on that level, aren't they? Because they're experiencing the same thing, talking about dreaming loads, and you know, this is what you do when you miss someone, and you know, and it's all you've got to hang on. So, I feel like Flick should be proud of that, because she got him there, you know, eventually.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it did work. I mean, I wouldn't have done the card thing, but obviously it's worked. For whatever reason. It must be nostalgia, triggering nostalgia, memories of them doing it before when things were.
Yeah. And remember, they've only got each other, so those things are going to be a bit more important to them than it would for say you or I, for example. But the next morning, Tani's speaking to Flick in the you know, everyone talks like this house is really big, you know, no one can hear you. And he's, you know, he said, look, he's got to move out, because, you know, the court case and the bikies, and you know, if it all gets unravelled, we're done for, you know, that we were an informant. Informant.
That made me laugh. Your Instagram post.
And he overhears it, doesn't he?
He does. Yeah.
So he goes MIA then, all day.
Yeah, all day. Yeah. Where does he go? I can't remember. Does he just go for a walk? I can't remember.
Here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, and he ends up at a diner. I think he was at the diner, because he ends up getting a lift off Xander to go and pack his bags, and he's trying to get out of the house before anyone's home.
Oh, yeah, and then he gets caught, doesn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, they do stop him. And then it's suddenly, I can't work out how it happened, but he's decided that he's staying.
Yeah, it was a very quick turnaround. It was just Flick just trying to talk him round, wasn't it? But is that the best idea? I mean, he should. But where's he going to go? That was the thing. Because Xander was saying, where are you going to go? You know, you're going to go back to Irene's. And he said, no, can't go back there. There's too many memories of Jasmine. Where are you going to go then? I don't know. I mean, we know the caravan park is full.
Caravan with his deck of cards.
I know, and he can't move in with Xander and Rose, because that was the other option Xander mentioned, and he was like, I don't think so. Do you? Like with Rose and him, it's just not awkward. But...
Well, I wonder if because Tani has gone to the police station, hasn't he, and spoken to Rose at this point, and has been like, come on, you need to do something about this. Like trying to move it along. I wonder if that's like, he's staying, so we need to make this thing happen. You know what I mean? Like, because cash is at mine. You know what I mean? Yeah. So she, now this is the part where we've got to suspend some more belief here. So she's requested access to the files of the investigators tracking this bikie gang. Okay. Downloaded immediately. Okay.
I know.
Transcripts of their conversations. Yeah. Super reliable.
I wonder what broadband they've
got. And then she's just sat in the police station just reading it out loud to her
brother. I know, this made me cringe. I was like, really? Like, we saw the files pop up on the screen, didn't we? Like Cash Newman and I can't remember what the other one was called now, but it was obvious going to be something not good to do with Cash, because the music went sinister as well. Did you notice?
Yeah, that always tells you what to feel. Yeah.
It's like, oh no, something is afoot. But yeah, to have her open them and read them in front of Xander, I mean, she's violated a lot of cop rules recently, hasn't she? I mean, she slept with Tex. She's given Cash the file on the bikie heist. She's let Xander see the confidential transcripts. I mean, what else has she done? It's just, and yet she had such a go at Mr. Stewart, and I'm not going to forget about this, Rose, for going over the speed limit.
She's definitely got into small town policing, hasn't she? She's definitely come on board.
She has, yeah.
And now she's sort of on the case, isn't she? She was saying in tonight's episode, she's on the case now with some extra officers. Yeah. Because if we get more from this surveillance that they're doing, they might be able to send it to court and move things along. It feels very much the Paratas are stuck in this limbo state with it, just waiting for either a bikie to turn up or a court date. And they're agonizingly stuck in this sort of position now, waiting for the investigation to move along. I just want it to move along now, you know.
Yeah.
I'm willing it to happen, because, you know, like you say, Rose is getting herself in more and more trouble as things go on.
Yeah.
The risk to Tane, to Neek, to Cash, to Flick, you know, the risk to them lot is getting higher and higher as the day goes on. And actually, on one of these messages, the surveillance, Rose finds out that a hit has been ordered on Cash.
Yeah.
And then Xander's sticking his nose in, like he does.
I know.
You've got to go and tell him. It's like, you're not even supposed to know now, lad.
Yeah. To be honest,
She does, though.
Rose's reaction was a bit strange, wasn't it? I mean, my reaction would be, I've just found this out. I need to escalate this to my supervisor or whoever, that one of our own is in trouble. And yeah, Cash needs to know. And she was just like, oh, I don't think I'm going to tell him, he's got a lot on. I was like, what? Are you joking?
Like you say, though, all our names are in there.
Yeah, all of us, all on the hit list, unfortunately. But it's found that really bizarre.
Yeah, it is strange. And then what's even more strange, she tells Cash, who just says, yeah, thanks.
Get out.
Yeah. So then there's this discussion like, oh, he didn't take that very well, you know, he was a bit strange. Next thing is that second thought as he's down at the police station demanding details. Like, I just can't, you know, we just move this on now, you know, because when we read the first look last week, you and I were saying, what more bikey stuff? If it's not over, what's going to happen? So now I feel like I'm in the same limbo.
Yeah.
No, it's waiting for something to happen. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, we need
and
that court case.
Yeah, they'll have contacts. Heather's done. She hasn't done any homework, so she's not in. She's not in Rue's good books, right?
Oh, this annoyed me. This manipulativeness. Before the lesson to Nico, she was like, "Oh, I'm so not prepared," and then afterwards, she was like, "Oh yeah, it's fine." But basically, what she meant by that was she manipulated the whole thing to make it not her fault. I was so annoyed about this. Were you?
I was, but obviously, she's not actually going to be a lawyer, is she? She's not.
No.
This was we were saying we didn't get it last week. This was confirmation to me that this is all just a stitch up to be in town.
Yeah.
Because she's not seriously studying, you know. And so that should be a red flag to Rue, given what she's hearing from Marilyn, but it's not.
Yeah, it's not. No.
Really frustratingly, like excruciatingly frustrating, that Rue just doesn't see some of these red flags. I'm going to take you back.
Yeah.
1995.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Think back. 95.
95. Yeah.
You're in Broken Hill.
I'm in Broken Hill.
Yeah. That's somewhere you'd go to have a baby in secret, isn't it?
It does sound awful, doesn't it? Broken Hill. Like, you can just imagine how horrible it is there. It's probably lovely, but it sounds awful.
It's like some town in like desert land. Honestly, I googled it. Yeah.
I'm expecting like, burnt out cars everywhere and like, not good.
It's like where all the Catholic daughters go. It's like one of those, like it's a sort of sordid secret town where bad things happen. Broken Hill. Yeah.
Dear.
Heather, she's not. We're talking about, and for those that haven't seen the episode, go and watch it before you listen to this, because major spoilers for what is probably going to be this autumn's biggest story, right? Heather is in town. She's obviously not studying. We've just said that. Okay, she's being manipulative. About Rue. We've seen already the Marilyn thing, haven't we?
Yeah.
And Marilyn's from the cars, doesn't have a good feeling about her. No one's listening to her. She's getting frustrated. Maz and her are snapping at each other in the diner all the time, which I'm actually loving those scenes, to be honest. I think they're golden.
You like Bad Maz though, don't you?
I
You're a fan.
love Bad Maz. I love it. Later on, all that aside, so off she's gone, Heather, to go and have a wicked way this time with Neek, afternoon delight. And Maz and Rue are talking, aren't they? And she talking about Heather always, like they always do. And Rue says, I'm gonna tell you a confidential story that she's told me.
Yeah.
Well, she tells her basically her own story, isn't it? Her own.
Well, we think so, don't we? We don't know yet, do we? That's the
There's a
problem.
presumption, yeah.
But
She
Maz's
says that.
face said it all, didn't it?
That was the moment that Maz is thinking, "Oh shit,"
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Rue's saying to her, she moved to the outback. She was a housekeeper. This family, she had an affair with the husband and had a baby, and they forced her to give the baby up.
Yeah.
Some story that in it. Let's just digest that a minute. That is some experience to happen to you.
Yeah.
And could that have happened to Maz? Like, I'm trying to get my head around it. My favorite character ever,
I know. Yeah.
something so awful has happened to her like that, and then it's been kept a secret. So my empathy runs quite excessively for Maz, really, in most things, to be honest. But in this, I'm thinking, if this is true, and that's happened to her, that's really sad.
It is really sad. Yeah, it's awful. I mean, so off the back of this, so that we put the pieces together. So we've seen this Rue's telling Marilyn this story. We've seen Marilyn's reaction, which to me said, "Oh, that's a familiar story to me." I don't know. I feel like she was sort of saying with her, she didn't say anything, did she? She just said it with her eyes. No. It was fear, and it was, oh my God, that's my story, and how dare she tell it? And that's how I felt about that scene. And then in the meantime, we've seen this mysterious baby photo be left for Maz on the doorstep of Somerville House, and on the back of it, it's got "Guess Who" written on it. So then she's thinking, Heather's left this here for me. And then we see Heather rummaging through this box of stuff, don't we? And there's like a program from a funeral or something, or a memorial for her dad. So that's telling me that her dad's passed away. And then there's a picture of Marilyn, the one that she took on her phone in the diner. There's she's printed it somehow and put that in the box. That was bizarre. I don't know where you go to get your pictures printed anymore, but there we go. She's obviously done that somewhere. And then there's this birth certificate, isn't it? So it's Heather's birth certificate. It says she was born in 1995. It's listed her dad's name that we've already seen on this funeral, or this memorial pamphlet, Tim somebody. And then it says mother, housekeeper, age 25, Marilyn Chambers. So I don't know what to make of this, because we've been talking, haven't we, all week about this and trying to add up the dates and all that kind of stuff, because I think, like a lot of viewers that listen to this, we've been watching Home and Away for a long, long time. We remember Marilyn back in the day. Around this kind of storyline, when this storyline was supposed to be happening, we were probably watching Home and Away at the time. So we know that if Heather was born in 1995, it was before Marilyn came back to the Bay, married Donald, and had the baby with Donald, Byron, that eventually sadly passed away. So it's before all of that. Because that's what I was trying to work out when we saw the birth certificate. I was like, well, when did this happen? Like, if she has had a child, when was it? Because Marilyn's been on Home and Away on screen for so long, and she's had little stints away, hasn't she? But she's a character that we know really well, really well. So
I know.
It's bizarre to have this thrown in, and I think you've just said, because we love Marilyn. We're so invested in her story, and she is so complicated and so complex as a character. I think we'll be interested in it, but there's a little part of me that's really annoyed that they've messed with her.
Yeah, it's easy if it's a character that you know and love, and you feel like you do know her, you know, because
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about this show like we know them all, and it's all real every week. But like, you know,
It
like
is.
genuinely with these characters you've watched for 30 years, you
Yeah.
genuinely think you know them, don't you?
Yeah.
And I know you know what's real and what's not. I'm not talking about that, like, you know,
Yeah.
but genuinely these characters you do feel for them. So it is easy to sort of, or your default mode is don't mess,
Yeah.
you know. But then that means these characters are probably never going to develop. I mean, the nicest of people have shit happen to them in life, don't they? You
Absolutely.
know.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's from that point of view, it's believable because everybody's got something that they don't go around telling everybody. Everyone's got
Yeah,
something that's a
yeah,
secret or something that's hurtful or something that's been a
mm,
dark time in their life that they don't talk about and they don't go around spreading that.
yeah,
But it's because we've seen Marilyn go through so much dark, and because I think the whole Byron having been her first child when it wasn't her first child, I
yeah,
think that's
yeah,
what's messing with my brain.
yeah, yeah. And how, you know, how distraught she was
Yeah.
with what happened to Byron. It made her flee the Bay.
Yeah.
It made her flee Australia. You
Mm.
know, she couldn't come back for a long time. Part of her return, sort
Mm.
of, was it 2010 or something, 2009,
Yeah.
was her sort of trepidation about coming back and starting again after everything that had happened.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I get that. I get that.
Mm.
Um, the day as well, you know, the timeline adds up because we were putting Heather at like 22, 23, weren't we? But
Yeah,
actually,
just because because you're sleeping with Nick, I
yeah,
automatically assumed they must be around the same age. But 95, did we work out how old that makes her? 27, does it?
yeah. Well, she's April, isn't she? So it was 27th of April, 95. So
Yeah.
she's 28. Yeah. No,
Mm.
27. Yeah.
Yeah, 27.
Um, yeah. So, you know, so that actually, because we were thinking there's no way, because there's no way this would have worked, you know.
No.
There's loads we don't know yet. Okay.
Mm.
And looking at tonight's trailer, next episode, it sounds like she's about to confess everything to Leah. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I suppose we'll have to watch this space. But all that aside, what we think about the story and what's happening and everything, I just think we're getting just such classic scenes with all the classic characters, all the
Oh
old
yeah.
characters.
Yeah.
We're getting such amazing dialogue between them that it's a feast for the eyes for me.
It
Like,
is. Yeah.
I'm watching these episodes thinking I could just watch this over and over again. You
Yeah.
know, these women, you know, these strong women that are the center of this show.
Mm.
um I have got so much invested in this,
Yeah.
um you know, that I'm just they could be saying anything about anyone and I'd be enjoying it. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
True. Yeah, absolutely. And actually, the actress, and I don't know her name sadly, but the actress that's playing Heather, she's doing a really good job actually as well, isn't she?
Yeah, yeah, she is, um and she's not being pantomime with it.
No. No.
Or and if she is, she's doing just enough sprinkle of it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? There was a moment where, you know, she was sat in the diner and the camera was on her in the forefront,
Oh
and
yeah, her
Neek was
face.
talking to, yeah,
Yeah.
the things like that we get with soap villains. There's a
Yeah.
little bit of that, but it's not going too much, is it? I mean,
No.
that might come, but as
It
things,
might get a bit more dramatic, but the scene where Marilyn tries to confront her in the caravan after Marilyn's found the photo of the baby,
mm,
and
yeah,
she's frantic, isn't she? She knows it's Heather, so she goes banging on her door. Heather, 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 come out here! I've got to talk to you. And Heather's like, oh, I've been waiting for you to turn up, and oh yeah, it was me, to her face. And then as soon as
yeah,
Nico's at the door, she's like, oh, I don't know what she's on about. Like that flip of the switch from
yeah, yeah,
evil
yeah,
to, oh, I don't know anything. Oh, she's just shouting at me. That was really good. That was
yeah. It
played
was.
really well.
It was, and she did it subtly,
She
you
did,
know.
yeah.
So then you sat there going, "You crafty
I
sausage,"
know. Yeah, I was like,
aren't you?
oh, You cow. How dare you gaslight Marilyn?
Loving it. I'm just loving everything about it. So, and after this blowout, there's the same thing with Rue. Rue is like trying to get through to Marilyn. I do not recognize this person in front of me, and she's like, Rue, you are not listening to me. She's bad news. But she still won't tell Rue.
No,
Rue
I know.
why.
You can't really blame Rue. Rue's being a bit thick, isn't she? But Marilyn isn't telling her. She isn't saying what the problem is. She's just going, "Oh, I don't like her. The tarot cards don't like her." There's nothing tangible. You have to tell her the truth. So I don't necessarily blame Rue, although you know, it's her mate from years and years and years. She should be giving her a bit of the benefit of the doubt, but you know, never mind.
Yeah. I know, and I know you'd be. They're all hell bent on just thinking she's cuckoo rather than,
I know.
you know, because because that's all happened earlier on this year.
Yeah.
But I suppose you've got to try and put. We know things Rue doesn't. You've got to try and remember that, haven't you? Do you know what I mean when you're watching it?
Yeah.
It's getting around town as well that everyone's, you know, John's worrying about her, and you know Justin and Leah, you know, she doesn't turn up for a shift, turns up for a shift, ruining Justin and Leah's box that night. And then obviously they see her. Basically, she's gone to Nick, hasn't she, Marilyn, with these muffins, and she's after information and giving him Spanish Inquisition, and then you know, they see her flipping because he won't give her info that she needs, and she said this cracking best line of the week.
Go on, then.
You know, and he says to her, I don't even know. And he said, do you always sleep with women you don't know? So soon after poor Bella.
That was a real twist of the knife, wasn't it? I mean, you can see there that line from Marilyn, it isn't her, is it? That's not classic Marilyn. So you can see where you can see where Rue's coming from, can't you? Like, if you just take that on face value, it does look like she's struggling again, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I thought you better check she's not nicked them muffins.
Oh dear, from Abbey Creek. I'm not waiting in line. I'm taking them.
Places to be. Yeah. You know, for me, this stuff is just proper.
Yeah.
Loving it. So I know you're going to take some convincing, but I'll try. Then there's an intervention. There's a mother's meeting, isn't there? So
this was a bit weird.
Leah draws the short straw after they've all talked about Marilyn's mental health in public. Which doesn't sit right with me.
No, me neither, but there we go.
And Leah goes over and knocks on the door of SBH, which has been closed once in its life.
No, what happened to the screen door? Not only the screen door, not the full front door. I'm surprised it
didn't. That sound we know and love. And she basically tells it rack off, doesn't she? But later on, Rue obviously.
It wasn't very subtle. Hi, I'm here to talk about your mental health. Have you got time? No, go away. Go away, you nosy beggar. Like.
Absolutely. But Rue lets her in anyway while she's upstairs.
God.
This declares this an intervention. Declares it out loud. Are you supposed to say that we're having an intervention, or do you just do it? I don't know. You're supposed to announce it.
Thankfully, I've never had one sprung on me, but unless they didn't announce it and I didn't realise. Oh dear.
So poor Maz here. She's emptying her handbag out, saying, "Look at the picture. Look at the picture. It's not there. That girl's got access to the house, hasn't she? She's been in."
Well, they leave the doors open. They do normally leave the doors open. Today was an exception. But yeah, she's definitely been in there and took it from her handbag.
Playing games now, yeah. And we are aching to that Marilyn earlier in the year. You know, there is, like you say, there are signs of it because you know, everyone's turning. She feels like everyone's against her. That's what happened last time. So I'm coming to that around to that idea of concern about it. But at least not Marilyn, Leah says to her, well, what is it about this girl that's rubbed you up? She asks her outright, like, what is it about this girl that rubs you up the wrong way?
Yeah.
But Rue's sat there, and Rue is, her and Rue are butting heads. They're not. It's not going to happen with Rue sat there. Do you know what I mean?
No.
And that's where we're up to. Can't wait to see more.
Yeah, looking forward to the next episode. I think that will be interesting because, like you say, the first look showed Leah on the beach with Marilyn, and it looks like she's about to, blurt it all out. So
it does, and I can't wait, but I can at the same time, and they're the best things. You don't want to see it, but you want to see it.
Yeah.
But I don't. What is going to happen if this is her daughter? I can't see her not having forged all documents. For what gain?
She's far too angry and taking it far too personally for it to be a lie. I think it has to be true, doesn't it, for it to be so angry with Marilyn?
Look what you said, how quick she can turn it on and off. Can't trust to think she's dead.
No, that's true. Yeah. Oh dear. It'll be interesting.
It's juicy.
It is. It's giving us something to talk about.
Right, it's time for your first look now.
Yes.
Chance to have a look at those upcoming episodes. Sophie, let's find out what's coming up on Home and Away next week. You're ready. You're ready, aren't you?
I'm bracing myself, yeah.
Well, I've just read the first line. Do brace yourself. Rose gets more than Cash's blessing.
Oh, sorry. Oh, we gone back to Willie's affair. Has he put the Willies affair? Sorry. I can't go a whole episode without doing it, can I?
Oh, funny. Funny. Marilyn confesses her most shameful secret.
Oh, poor Marilyn.
We are going to be proper suckered into that. You know that, don't you?
Yeah.
Cash can't escape his drunken mistake.
Oh!
Is Rose falling around everywhere?
Oh. Yeah, he's drunk. She's his drunken mistake. Whoops.
Yeah.
Oops.
Kirby and Theo pull off a publicity stunt.
Oh, God. Okay.
I must admit, the last couple of concerts in Salt, that audience number's been dwindling. Right, need it.
They're like, well, they were on 2 weeks ago. Do we really want to go again? No.
Packed out the first time, though.
I know, but you wouldn't want to go back 2 weeks later, would you? Unless it's your absolute favourite band in the world. Which
like,
I don't think they are.
Shut up. I'm trying to eat the pizza.
Yes, explosions in your brain. We get it. Yes. Maybe see a doctor about that. Dear.
Has Rose lost her only friend?
She's still got a brother. It's fine.
Oh, I don't know. He's not much fun, is he?
They need a pack of cards. That'll
Tell
change
him how
it
it
all.
is. That's it. That's the one. Bit of blackjack.
Oh dear.
Remy and Eden miss Destiny's call. What?
Destiny's
I
Child?
nearly said Destiny's Child then. I nearly thought, were they in town at all? Remy and Eden miss Destiny's call.
Interesting.
Destiny might be their new manager or something. No, it's not capitalised. Is Ziggy ready to be a mum?
No.
That's 3 episodes turnaround.
Oh dear.
Theo and Kirby are the internet's hottest duo.
Oh God.
Theo and Kirby opened an OnlyFans. Is that the publicity stunt?
It might be. Either that or buried alive. Recording a whole album underground before the oxygen runs out. Oh no.
The world's first buried concert. Oh god. That sounds like it's OnlyFans. Theo and Kirby are the internet's hottest duo. That can only be one thing.
Well, I'm googling it. Hang on. Dear.
Marilyn gets framed for abuse.
Oh God.
This is taking a right dark turn, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will the star couple break Lyric apart?
Oh God.
Yes, it's a given. We've been saying that.
Oh no.
Mhm. And Ziggy makes a decision.
So she's done it in a week. Wow.
Don't think you're going to be happy with this, are you?
Probably not. No.
No.
I've been quite miserable today, haven't I?
No. But I don't think you're going to like the way, we're talking about that needing to be done delicately.
Yes.
That's
yeah.
right.
Yeah. Doesn't sound good, does it?
I'll reserve judgment till I see it, but no, it doesn't. Yeah. Thanks, everybody. That's the end of this week's episode. I hope you've enjoyed it. We have, haven't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Let's just hope it didn't put any willies up. Yeah. Until next time, just check. Until next time, join in the conversation online at @GhostRunningPod or #HomeAndAway. We'll see you next weekend. Bye bye from me.
Bye.
Bye.